Rose is your name, but when you poop it sure don't smell like roses. Your number two burns the hair in my nose, but we fought hand in paw. Now your poop don't stink at all. Now that the air is clear, I'll treasure your front and rear, my sweet Rose.
Instantly neutralize poop stink with Poop Fighter from World's Best Cat Litter for the world's best cat.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to the Humble Throne, where leadership begins not with loud answers, but quiet reflection. I'm Todd Robatin, and this is episode 3, The Mirror Test. Today, we'll have a conversation about seeing ourselves clearly, compassionately, and completely. Because before we lead others, we must first face ourselves, and not just the polished version, but the real one. The one that experiences joy and success and accolades, but also still experiences pain, loss, doubt, and discontentment. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly looked at yourself, not just in the mirror, but in motion, as a leader, as a parent or grandparent, a friend or colleague, a creator? Not what others see, but what you sense, your words, your rhythms, your habits, your presence. You see, the mirror test isn't about appearance. It's not about vanity or ego. We can all put on a fake facade and act the part from time to time when the cameras are rolling. But a mirror test is about alignment. Do your actions match your values? Do your relationships reflect your integrity? Do your decisions echo your deeper truths? And here's the hardest part. Are you leading with your truest self, from your truest self, or just from your polished performance? Because it's easy to build a name for yourself or to brand who you want to be around certain people in certain circles. But it's harder to build a life that feels like yours, one that doesn't feel like work 24/7, but a life that is filled with worth, purpose, and meaning. Now, years ago, I worked with a leader who did this test every single week. No fancy tool, just a journal, a mirror, and a question. He'd ask, did I show up with courage, kindness, and clarity this week? Sometimes he said, yeah, I did. And other times he'd circle one word and vow to try again. But he kept coming back because he knew that growth doesn't happen in perfection or overnight. It happens in the return, in the constant pursuit of making yourself better than the day, the hour, or even the moment before. You see, self awareness is not self critique, it's compassion with curiosity. It's not about tearing yourself down and ripping apart your thoughts, your failures and successes. It's about asking, is this who I want to be in my career, in my community, in my family, or even in my own brain? And if the answer is no, you don't punish yourself. You pivot, you realign, you recommit. We don't look in the mirror to shame ourselves. We look to remind ourselves, hey, I'm still in it. I'm still growing. And I'm still choosing who I want to be every day. Because the mirror doesn't judge, it reflects. Now, you see, I've done this test myself from time to time. And I'll be honest, some days I don't love what I see. I see impatience. I see distraction. I see moments where I choose comfort and convenience over courage and resilience. But I also see effort, growth, and someone who's still showing up. And that's what matters. And with that in mind, here are today's humble truths. Number one, the clearest leaders are often the quietest observers. They don't just react, they reflect. Number two, a mirror can offer clarity, but only if we're willing to see, because avoidance is easy, but awareness is brave. And number three, self awareness isn't a destination, it's a constant discipline. It's not a one time check in, it's a lifelong practice that requires honesty, accountability, and the courage to admit when you've reached the end of your rope and need help. So let's make this real. After this episode, I want you to try this simple practice for yourself. Find a quiet space. Maybe it's your closet or a spare room or a bathroom. Grab a journal and sit with a mirror. Yes, a literal mirror. Small, large, you decide. But then ask yourself these questions. Where did I lead with courage this past week? Where did I choose comfort over truth? And what do I want to realign tomorrow? Now, when you do this, write freely. No edits, no perfect sentence structure or grammar, no judgments, just honest, transparent reflection. And if you're not sure what to write or where to start, just start with how you feel, because feelings often point to truths we haven't named yet. Do this once a week, or once a day, or however often you want. But do it, because the mirror doesn't just show up. It doesn't just show you who you are. It shows you who you're becoming. And here are just a few more things to reflect. What would your mirror say today? Would it celebrate your empathy, nudge your honesty, invite your pause? And more importantly, what would it ask you to change, even if it seemed small? Not because you're failing, but because you're evolving. Because leadership isn't just about vision, it's about visibility of self. Next week, we'll dive into the difference between burnout and bravado and walk through an exercise to help turn off the noise and holistically heal from the inside out. But for now, stand tall, look softly, and thank your reflection for showing up, because with vulnerability, growth gets crowned. Thanks for sitting with me today on the humble throne.